Well, hey guys, it's Dr. Devin, and you are in for a treat today because I have brought Dr. Jack Wolfson to If They Knew. Dr. Jack is a medical doctor, a board-certified cardiologist, the Paleo Cardiologist author. He's a husband. He's a father. He's a man on a mission who has lived the truths that he is going to share with you today. Now, I first got to hear Dr. Jack in person at Focus OKC a few years ago. I had my dad with me. My dad had just suffered mini stroke, and it was perfectly timed getting to hear this real life cardiologist who'd practiced the game of medicine in the hospital setting, but had transitioned his practice to go back to the cause instead of treating the effects, and had really revolutionized life and practice from the inside out alongside Dr. Heather. You're gonna love him, and the truths that he speaks are simple but so powerful. Eat good foods. Get the chemicals and the pesticides out of your food. Go organic. Get out in the sunlight and turn your technology off. Now, I want him to share more with you why, so you are in for a treat. Give it up and welcome to If They Knew, Dr. Jack. Hey everybody, it's Dr. Devin. I'm so excited today. This one has had me with butterflies all morning because I know you are in store for a big treat. I have Dr. Jack Wolfson with us today. He is a board-certified cardiologist, best-selling author, the Paleo Cardiologist, and he is the other half of a power duo that regularly inspires me in social media and in life. Dr. Heather Wolfson, who's a chiropractor, a warrior woman, and mama bear. They just welcomed a new daughter to the world named Brave. Please welcome Dr. Jack Wolfson. Thank you, Dr. Jack, for being with us.
Thank you, Dr. Devin. It's a pleasure. Love talking to you. And really, I mean, you inspire us as much as we would inspire you. When I saw you on the stage for the first time, met you for the first time at Focus OKC, which Dr. Tim Young puts on, and what a magical event was. And I think obviously what makes it so magical are people like you and doctors like you who share that message of health and wellness and really an inspiration as well, kind of like we can all do it. I've had my struggles, I've had my issues, but I rose above it. I continue to work. I continue to strive to be better. I continue to strive to be healthier. And that's some of the things that, my wife and I certainly promote.
I mean, you guys embody such a powerful family unit. I love seeing the pictures of the kids and out in the cold and just the elements and really living life present with your children at Cal Jam and the different places that I've seen you guys. I can't wait to be in same space with Heather. I think God's waiting for divine timing because the two of us, have that Hulk mama energy. For anybody that doesn't know you, can you give them a little synopsis of who you are and where you are in the world right now?
Most certainly. So I'm a cardiologist by training, hospital-based cardiologist for 10 years. After 10 years of medical training, I was with the biggest group in the state of Arizona. I became a cardiologist, really inspired by my father, who was a cardiologist. And a few years into practice, I met this young woman, and she is a doctor of chiropractic, DC, or as she says, doctor of cause. And she starts opening up my eyes to all these things about becoming a doctor of cause, because us medical doctors are trained specifically and purely in the pill and procedure model. High blood pressure, here's some pills. Chest pain, let's do an angioplasty. It's never about addressing the cause. And Dr. Heather says you got to become a doctor of cause. And really at that same time, my father was dying of a Parkinson's-like illness. And Dr. Heather comes along and said, she comes along. And at that time, we took my father to the Mayo Clinic, and the Mayo Clinic said, we've got nothing for your father. Your father's going to die from this. There's no treatment. We have no idea what caused it. And now I meet this 20-something-year-old chiropractor, and she says, I'll tell you why your father is sick. Because he ate, garbage food, didn't get the sunshine, didn't get the sleep, was under a lot of stress, took pharmaceuticals. He was just He was in the medical matrix, if you will. And then again, radiation-based procedures that he was doing as a cardiologist. And she said, Jack, you're going down the same road as your father. You know, you're going to suffer the same fate. My father liked to drink too much. He was a great drinker. He was the life of the party, the joke teller, the storyteller. The only negative side about the drinking is the fact that he's dead. So in any case, what she said really resonated with me. I brought that into my new practice. I brought that into my current, my practice at the time. Left that practice 2012, started Wolfson Integrative Cardiology. Heather and I together are the doctors Wolfson. Wrote a book in 2015 called The Paleo Cardiologist, The Natural Way to Heart Health. For anyone who's interested, the book is available for free, freeheartbook.com. You can go check it out there. But, that's really been what we've been about, is about empowering people to reclaim their mental and their physical health by, like you said, just like living life. And it's not the pharmaceuticals, it's not the surgeries. There's a time and a place for those in emergency situations, but for prevention, I believe the doctor of chiropractic is really perfectly skilled for preventive wellness, if you will. So thank you for allowing me to share that.
With you on that. I mean, I'm obviously a big fan, probably a little biased considering I am one, married to one, brother and sister are one, but we got nudged into this path. You know, I went to chiropractic school. I'd never been adjusted before. I was pre-med, and innate swept in and got me there. But likewise, we have family histories, my husband and I, and when you go through that and you see the trajectory that those choices lead, you go the other way. And I would love to hear, so, the premise of the show is if they knew, because I think that these truths that we all share and that we talk about when we go to the events that I've gotten to meet you at, everybody kind of gets it, right? So when we look at some of those key premises, what is one thing you wish humanity knew that would change the way our culture is handling what's going on right now, and just in general would look at health and life and happiness?
Well, our bodies are miracles, to say the least. And we are designed to really be everything except for bulletproof. Like, we can run and jump and feel and love and, make new babies. Like, we can do some really amazing things. So when people say that they have a family history or genetics for high blood pressure, for example, or genetics of coronary artery disease or high cholesterol, myself as a cardiologist, I cringe at that, because although that's what I was certainly taught, and that was the dialogue we would give to patients, it's clearly incorrect. Our genetics do not program us to develop high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, dementia, any of it. It's all man-made. So therefore, if we can lead that healthiest lifestyle, if we can do the things, again, to support our body, we're not going to get cancer. We're not going to get diabetes. We're not going to get dementia, heart disease, high blood pressure, strokes, and we're not going to suffer from any viral illness or pneumonia. Like, we've become bulletproof. And I now understand we can do that. And the pharmaceutical industry and the surgeries, it all impedes that. It all impedes that. I take, for example, people with a history of a tonsillectomy. So their tonsils were removed as children. They have a much higher risk of cardiovascular disease. When the problem was not the tonsils, it was the problem that was causing inflammation of that immune organ. And that, again, is a situation where now a doctor of chiropractic can come in to a person who's having, a child who's having recurrent infections, tonsillar issues. Well, hey, listen, let's talk about nutrition. Let's talk about the healthy lifestyle. Let's talk about getting away from the chemicals. Let's talk about adjusting subluxations, where all of that all together is really the monumental thing where we can really achieve health and wellness. Again, there's a time and a place for emergency medicine doctors, but when it comes to prevention, the medical doctors have nothing. And they have worse than nothing because they make the situation worse. They apply a Band-Aid that doesn't work, loaded with side effects. And again, it's just misguiding the population. And I'm not the only one who thinks this way. There's a lot of holistic medical doctors that are really coming out and speaking this truth. And I clearly think this is where it's going in the future.
Yeah, I think that what we're witnessing is the accumulation of the choices that we've made. And again, it's not anti this, anti that. It's, understanding that there's a systemic inflammatory issue in our culture because of choice. So if you take the big idea of, this innately magical human, I mean, your wife has grown four babies. I mean, she didn't have to tell her body how to do that. There is this wisdom inside of us that is, designed to thrive. What do you say to the person that's kind of waking up to some of these newer things or new to wellness and who has kind of lived in the matrix of my genetics predetermine my health? Well, now they're waking up and saying, okay, I can go with you, Dr. Jack. If my genetics don't, what are 3 things that I can do to, get me down the path to healthier living?
Well, I think, once again, and I'm the epitome of someone who escaped, from the Matrix. And the Matrix is such a wonderful analogy. And for anyone to go back and watch that movie, that's something that you need to watch, your children need to watch, because that is that is so much like our reality right now. And if I was able to escape from that, again, as the child of a cardiologist, growing up in a medical family, indoctrinated in all of that medical, indoctrination. They'll call it education, but it's really just brainwashing. And of course, eating the foods. I'm a Chicago guy. Deep dish pizza, hot dogs, Italian beef sandwiches, too much alcohol. Like, if I can escape that, anybody can. And again, I know everything that the cardiologist knows. I'm a board certified cardiologist, but now I know the health and wellness side as well. And there's other cardiologists that are like me. So it's not good for them financially to give up the insurance-based cardiology model. There's a lot of issues why people don't escape from that. But again, there's a lot of people like me. And if I'm going to give people 3 things to kind of really focus on, right now, number 1, I would say organic food, eating clean organic food. No matter what you eat, go organic, get the chemicals out of your food is a big deal. If you want ice cream, eat organic ice cream. You want cookies, cupcakes, cereal, potato chips, whatever, just do it organically, because the chemicals, for example, the people with the highest level of pesticides versus the lowest level of pesticides have a 300% higher risk of dying. That was in a certain time frame that was published last year, 2019. So again, those pesticides, those chemicals, I can go on about it for so long, but they really are detrimental to health. Number 2, appreciate the power of the sun. The more time we spend outside, the longer we're going to live. All of nature, all animals and plants, everything's outside. We're the only ones that are inside 24/7. And then the other thing I would say is just try and reduce the addiction to technology, whether it's television, whether it's cell phone, whether it's social media. I think there is a positive value to it, but it clearly can be an addiction. And you know who you are when you're addicted to it. Of course, when you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is jump on social media, and as a friend of mine and colleague of yours and mine, Dr. Jason Deitch, would say, you check in and you wake up and do that. Again, that addictive behavior is exactly what they want. That was described very well in the recent movie Social Dilemma. They want us glued to tech. They want us glued to television so they can sell us stuff. We need to get back to living life. And I think the more we live life and again, foster these relationships, and again, get back to in-person, appreciate the fact that our immune system makes us bulletproof when we provide it what it needs, get chiropractic care, get under the care of a holistic provider. We truly become bulletproof, and we can fight off any virus, any bacteria. The host is everything. The pathogen is nothing.
Yeah, I mean, those choices that you're talking about empower the body to do what it's designed to do. So each decision that we make, you look at food, what you're putting in there, you're either enhancing your body's ability to handle stress, because stress isn't going to go away, be it chemical or emotional or physical. I love all of that. Now I'm you inspired me as you were talking through these things and your escape from a medical matrix. Really, what do you say to doctors that, I mean, we're now in this like either or, there's so much polarity out there. What do you say to the doctors that are waking up to, maybe I could do things differently, maybe we could go this way, but are kind of locked into that hospital insurance game? What would you say to you that coming out of that?
Well, I think it's a difficult one because once again, it's like they have us, if you will, they have us controlled because most medical doctors come out and they're extremely in debt. So now they got to pay their money back. They got to pay all their bills. So they got to come out again and practice in an insurance system to make the money back. They're concerned about scrutiny from medical boards. They're concerned about scrutiny from their peers, even from patients. So it's a daunting task, but I think, Dr. Devin, it sounds a little cliche, but it's kind of like how I looked at it because I was making a ton of money as a hospital-based cardiologist. It's cliche, but to say on my deathbed and I'm surrounded by my family, what am I going to say to them? I stayed in the medical system. I stayed in the hospitals. I prescribed the drugs. I did the surgeries. I did all this stuff against what I wanted to do, but I did it for the money so I can make you all secure. Or do I want to be on that, proverbial deathbed and with my family surrounding me and say, hey, I did it the right way. I did it the right way. I did it the way I followed my heart. I followed nature. I followed what made sense. And I did it that way. So of course I chose the latter and it's been a phenomenal path. And I guess if there's any cardiologists or medical doctors that are listening to this, and I assume it can circulate around, and anyone who's listening, share this message, with your doctor. And if they want to talk to, to me and say, how do you do it? I'll explain it to them. And it's very rewarding to do so. And I'm so happy on the side of health and wellness. And again, so happy to share this message, with your audience, and just always great to, touch base with providers like you.
Well, and I hear you, and Dr. Zach Bush is another one that, you guys are really, I think it's the future, right? It's not either or. It's becoming one and prioritizing the way that we meet things. And I think that message is applicable to medical doctors, but also nurses and PAs and chiropractors that are really locked in. I mean, there's a lot of chiropractors who are slave to the insurance game, and lay people in general that, are waking up to the conversation around vaccines or the conversation around masks and conversation around immune system just in general. And as people wake up, it becomes our responsibility to share truth and support one another as we kind of break free of the way things used to be. So how does that impact? If you imagine that, like, doctors start to brave this new approach, more and more chiropractors are stepping forward, all of it, we're all waking up, and we grab onto that premise, that genetics don't lock us in, lifestyle's everything. What does that world look like? How would that change the 2020 game?
It looks pretty special, right? I know you feel the same way. It looks very special, and obviously brings a smile to my face very quickly to know that the world can be moving in that direction. I think though is that it's really going to be consumer driven or patient driven or people driven. It's doctors like you and I getting the information out there and letting the people decide. And I think that the next generation, those people now that are in their 20s and 30s, they're not looking to take all the pills that their parents took. They're not looking at early onset dementia, or like me, early onset Parkinson's like illness, or my father had a heart attack at 50. I don't want that to be me. So that's where people are going to start looking to healthcare providers that are really talking the truth, that are really offering something very special. And I think the world's going to be an amazing place when that happens. And again, there's a lot of chiropractors that are in the insurance model, and I'm not necessarily saying that they need to opt out of it per se. But again, is that if you are, whatever model you're in, share the message of health and wellness. Listen, 100 years ago when BJ Palmer was was alive and creating and was a fantastic physician at that time. To say the least about B.J. Palmer, one of the founders of chiropractic, him and his father, of course. The world was a different place. Now it is just a absolute toxic soup. From environmental toxins, mental toxins, food-based toxins. It's a different world. So I think, in my opinion, the world needs more chiropractors that are adjusting 50, 75, 100 patients a day, no doubt. But the world needs more functional chiropractors as well that can really work on addressing food, lifestyle, environmental toxins, detoxification, all these different things. And I guess I'll throw that out there too, that even for the chiro that's adjusting 75 people a day, having somebody else in your office that's doing that more of a functional stuff. And that could be a well-trained health coach. That could be, it could be a nurse practitioner, it could be a PA, it could be anybody. But again, forming these wellness kind of systems to be able to address all these issues, it brings a smile to my face. That's what we offer in Arizona. I've got 5 health coaches. I've got a whole, I've got a nurse practitioner. I've got a doctor of naturopathic. I've got a whole bevy of chiropractors we refer to in the Phoenix area. And then, of course, whenever people come to see me from all over the world, frankly, finding chiropractors in that area. That's the revolution. That's the healthcare revolution. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited for our children.
And it's happening. Like you said, you go on the one hand, my mom passed in her early 50s with a brutal journey with cancer, and you have a father you lost at 50 to a heart attack. Now we are this bridge to do better and be better, to give a different world to our children. And there is a lot of detoxifying that needs done. And it's big work. And it can be overwhelming for families that grew up one way. I mean, in our house, we had a cough. My dad was calling the pediatrician, hey, she needs a Z-Pack, because that's like his language. That's what he knew. So as these, parents come out of, I'm seeing in my practice, I don't know about you, where the weight of whether it's media or government or the election stuff, it just feels heavy on the mama bear shoulders, and really the dads. It's like financially getting harder and harder. Can you, as a dad and as a husband, can you just give a message of hope out there to the moms and dads that are really doing the best they can during this time?
Yeah, it's, once again, sometimes less is more. Like if I tell you to get more sunshine, that doesn't cost anything. If I tell you to get everybody to sleep on time, and, when the sun goes down is when our ancestors went to sleep. So instead of staying up until 10, 11 o'clock at night, we got to get to bed, at 7, 8 o'clock at night. And those little young ones, again, get them off technology. That's free. Get them off tech. Get them outside. That's free. No matter what the weather is, bundle the kids up, get them outside, and you yourself, get outside. So many things are free. Organic food costs extra, but again, it's well worth it. It's more nutritious, free range, grass-fed meats, wild seafood. We got to spend our money on that stuff. I think for most people, again, and, look to the other areas, if you're an alcohol drinker, stop drinking alcohol, save money there. Don't get new clothes, new cars, fixing up the house, take care of your health first, and then everything else, falls into place. For moms and dads, I think it's doable. It can be overwhelming, no doubt, because the world is against us. Again, fear, who's going to win the election, who cheated, who did this, some crisis. Again, the media has to sell us crisis, because that's how we're addicted to the media, which therefore can sell us crap that we don't need, right? You stay up all night, you're concerned about the election, you're watching TV. Electronics keep us glued into that medium in order to sell us drugs to help us sleep or to help us with our depression, when it's they who are causing the depression by feeding us the fear. So unplug. Just get rid of it. Just say goodbye. Keep all your interactions positive. Negative interactions, get rid of them. If you like to argue with friends and family on Facebook, if you like it, do it. If you don't like it, if it doesn't resonate with you, then get away from it and get the negativity. Dr. Devin, I truly believe that really happy people, People who are truly happy don't get sick. I think the happy, and that's in the medical literature. Again, I have a whole chapter on that in my book. Chapter 5 is called One Nation Under Prozac. Anxiety, stress, depression, anger, fear, all those feelings are linked to a much higher risk of cardiovascular disease. We got to get rid of all that stuff.
The stress is real, I mean, real effects on health if you let it go. And it is supply and demand. So they're feeding our addictions right now in the media and social media, and we turn it off, it changes their game, changes our game. Any final thoughts? Anything you've had on your heart, or anything you want to send out into the message?
Well, I think, listen, you touched on it, before, and I mean, the whole thing of where everybody now is walking around wearing a mask. I mean, different states, different places. I live in Colorado, and everybody is walking around with masks. And it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate what it's doing to the children that have witnessed this, the young children. Like, what do you say to your 2-year-old, your 3-year-old, as they're looking around in society? And we are so so much of our learning is based on that facial interaction, and so much conversation is that nonverbal interaction. And you may say you're okay with masks, but again, that can easily tiptoe, or what's been referred to as the totalitarian tiptoe, how that we kind of march gradually into this more governmental controlled society. And that's where, of course, vaccine mandates, will come in unless the populace rises up and say, no, okay, I acquiesce to the mask. I didn't feel it was hurting me, although that, of course, is debatable on many different levels, physical and mental. But to say, you know what, I'm not taking this vaccine. And again, they're going to strong arm us. They're going to, they'll do everything they can to make it so. But again, you're talking about a vaccine that again will be unproven, no long-term data whatsoever, total experimental. And of course, the vaccine industry the only one with immunity is the vaccine industry, because you can't go after them legally for their mistakes. So again, I would just encourage everybody to believe in your immune system, believe in the innate ability of your body to be able to fight off any virus or whatever it may be. Give your body everything it needs. Give it the food, give it the sleep, the sun, the physical activity, get the chemicals out of the body, get adjusted, and you'll be good. You'll be good.
Doctor's orders. I mean, that pretty much sums it up, and those, like you said, a lot of those things are free, and a lot of it's just return to nature. And of course, getting adjusted for the nervous system and helping out all the body functions. I'm so grateful for having you here. I definitely want to get Dr. Heather over here to have a Mama Bear talk about navigating, because we know what's coming, as far you can feel that push coming with the mandated vaccine, more, some in other areas more than where I'm at, but it's going to be a tough one, and the moms are going to have to be empowered in their voice. So you let Dr. Heather know that I can't wait to have her over here too. Sending you guys lots of love and congratulations on the new baby. Now, if you gave us, I'll make sure people get the link for the book. And if they want to hook up with you and Dr. Heather, where do they find you? How can they learn more about the work that you guys are doing and have out there?
Yeah, we are on social media under the Doctors Wolfson, the website, thedoctorswolfson.com. Lots of great information on there, excellent videos, blog posts and stuff like that. And, obviously I think my book is a good starting point. And I do also want to say that I do want to add, this, regarding chiropractic. Chiropractic is proven to lower blood pressure 17 points over 10. Chiropractic is shown to improve heart rate variability, which when you have low, I don't want to go too much into heart rate variability, but when you have low HRV, heart rate variability, increases the risk of cardiovascular disease, stroke, atrial fibrillation. So again, chiropractic helps to address that. Chiropractic has been shown to improve the immune system. So there is good data on chiropractic. So again, sometimes chiropractors don't like to tout that they cure anything or they treat disease, but I get to say that. I can say whatever I want, and I get to say that chiropractic treats high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, thyroid issues, digestive issues. I get to say that chiropractic treats that. So for anyone who's listening, don't just think that chiropractic is about back pain and neck pain and headaches, which they're fantastic for, but also whatever your medical condition is, chiropractic is going to help.
And I didn't even ask him to say that, but he gets brownie points from me, and I'm sure Dr. Heather as well for helping us take that truth out there. So grateful for you. And guys, reach out to him if you have any questions. I would love to hear your thoughts on the book. I got to hear you at Focus right after my dad had some mini strokes, and that was one of the first things I did was get him. He was with me actually, and we had a family moment of like, hey, these choices. So I don't even think I've ever told you that, but that was a big day for us of going like, look, Dad, a medical doctor, and that meant the world to me personally and to our family. So again, thank you for all that you do and your brave spreading of the truth, and ... I'm sure we'll have you back again. Now, my whole goal and vision here is to provide actionable value from some of the voices that have changed and influenced my life and bring them to you and people so that we can all heal together. Dr. Jack is one of those people that I know you're going to tune into, and I know you're going to go learn from. So he just gave you the link for the free book, The Paleo Cardiologist, and he shared so many golden nuggets. I have so many notes written down. I want to hear what you thought was the biggest takeaway. For me, it's the simplicity of it all. And one word, choice. The choices that we make in our day-to-day life determine the life, longevity, fullness of the life that we lead ultimately. How simple is that? It comes down to the choices that we make. The power is in our hands, not out there. And I smile with Dr. Jack as we imagine what that world looks like. And I love that there was a moment that spoke directly to healthcare practitioners of all different disciplines. It's okay to say that things aren't working. It's okay to say that things could be better. We have to look at what's going on right now. I hope that our 2020 and soon to be 2021 adventure is exposing our weak spots in our healthcare infrastructure, in our different professional disciplines. I hope that it exposes where we're weak so that we can break it down, rebuild it, and be stronger for it. Let's learn these lessons today, and it's okay. I mean, he took a whole pivot from the way he was practicing medicine and living his life. And he's choosing differently, and it's creating a different reality for him, for his family, and for the people that he serves. Guys, this is about us individually looking at what we can do better. Owning our stuff. Saying, well, that was yesterday, and I'm not totally proud of the way I did that, but I know I can do better. And shout out to Dr. Jack for his love on chiropractic. Yes, he's married to a chiropractor, but what I heard as he was saying, get adjusted. It makes a huge influence on your blood pressure, on your heart health, on your overall health. But what I heard was in the intro portion, where his eyes really opened, was that his wife, DC, is a doctor of cause. We've become obsessed with the effects. We have been obsessed with symptoms. And maybe it's time to look at things differently. Maybe it's time to make different choices. That's what I got out of this. Now you tell me what you got out of this. Share it with somebody that needs to hear it. And I'll see you next time on If They Knew.